Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Fonta, Flora Brewing out of Morganton, North Carolina. This beer is called Brutus. Description says mixed culture Saison ale brewed with dandelion flowers. In the back it says 2018 Brutus is a blend of mixed culture barrel aged Saison and clean crisp barrel aged Saison. Aged additionally on local dandelion flowers and conditioned naturally in the bottle with Brettanomyces. So I've only had this one other time, which was from last year's bottles, and they were in green bottles, not brown. So I think that might affect it a little bit, because I remember that those ones had a slight specific, like earthy, skunky character, which I think was probably attributed to the green bottles. But, you know, to me that was just a little addition to the already complex beer that it was. So I'm still expecting this to be really, really good. It is 5.2 ABV. Yeah, and that's about it. I'm really excited for this because I love Fonta's mixed culture Saisons. Whoa. I have to say, I think this is not super chilled either, which is my fault. But I kind of like to try these warm too. Look at that. This is definitely the first gusher that I've ever had from them, and the first gusher that I've ever had on this channel. It's still coming out. Oh my gosh, this is way too crazy. So I'll see if this keeps going for a minute or two. I might pause the video because sorry about that. So I had to go off camera for a minute and pour some of that into another glass. You can see the remnants of the overflow right there. But I wouldn't necessarily be concerned about that because this is probably less cold than it should be based on this style of beer. But I like when this, I don't want it to be as warm as a stout, but I like when this warms up because I feel like the bouquet of all the stuff that the wild yeast puts off is bigger whenever it's warmer. So that's why I decided to open it, but I wasn't even thinking about the fact that it might be a little overcarbonated because of that too. So anyways, as you can see, if you actually chill this to what it's supposed to be, it's actually pretty hazy. I mean, this almost looks like an IPA. And I know it's because of some of the shake up too, but pretty hazy, golden color with about a finger's worth of white head that's just been sitting and sitting and sitting and not going anywhere, which is nice. So I've always told people that this beer, and again, I only had this one other time, but when I did, this beer reminded me more of Hill Farmstead than any other beer that they make. I think they're close to Hill Farmstead, not even in like the fruited sours, because I haven't even had a lot of the Hill Farmstead fruited sours because I like their Saisons better. But in the Saison, the mixed culture Saison realm, I think they're close to Hill Farmstead. I don't know about if they're the closest, but they're definitely up there. But the aroma of this, now that I'm smelling it again, is like if you just put this in my nose, I would think that this was a Hill Farmstead beer, and I'm not making that up at all. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being superfluous. um, or hyperbolic. This has like a very, very deep, like wild, funky, not like lambic funky, like American wild ale funky, like really, really old well water type aroma. Like a lot of mineral quality and a lot of like wet rocks. Like to me, it kind of reminds me of like an ox, like some of the really good barrel aged oxbow saisons, but it doesn't have. It has all of the funk and the wild character that those have, but it's not actually barrel aged. Like it has as much complexity as those do, but it's not actually barrel aged, which is even more impressive. My gosh. So I shouldn't. So when I said this is the second time I had this, this is the second time I've had it out of the bottle. I had on tap at the brewery like 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately they didn't even have any bottles left. I had to buy it somewhere else, which is fine. I mean, I understand why they sold out of it. It's great beer, but I had to buy this somewhere else. So this is the second time I've had it in the bottle. But I feel like this kind of beer is something you really have to have at the bottle. The bottle conditioning really makes a difference. I mean, I don't know how long it was sitting in the bottle, so like I don't know. But this, to me, this is significantly different than what I had in the keg. The keg, to me, what I had in the keg was definitely less tart than this. It was a super easy drinker, really tasty. But I just thought it was like really light and lacking a little bit of the complexity that I remember the bottle I had before having. And also, like I said, the bottle I had before had like a little bit of skunky character to it, which I'm not really getting. I'm getting it like a tiny bit, but only like very, very minimally out of this. It's not as much as the green bottle one had. So I'm thinking that did really play a role in it. It also could have been because it was old, because I didn't buy it fresh. I bought it from like their cellar sale. So I think when I actually opened it, it was probably like a year old at that point. Or maybe it was less than a year old, because if it was the anniversary when they made it, I don't know. If this was made a year after they made it last time, then it was less than a year, but I don't really know for sure. But this is, to me, this is exactly like that one was, except slightly less complex because it didn't have that skunky, like, traditional green bottle Saison DuPont character. Yeah, I think some people who appreciate Saisons and even Imperial Stouts sometimes, and even the crazy pastry stouts, like sometimes beers smell so, and IPAs too. Sometimes beers smell so freaking good that you don't even want to drink it, because when you finish the glass, you're not going to be able to smell it anymore. But there's a bottle shop that's close to me that I heard had bottles of this. I got 2 of the bottles at a place in Charlotte, so I was like, oh, that's good, whatever. But now that I open this and I know how good this is, again, I hope to God that place has more of these, because I'm going to buy more of these. This beer is absolutely fantastic. I said the first time I had this that I thought that this was my favorite Hill Farm. Sorry, I got that in my mind. This is my favorite. That it was my favorite Fonta Flora beer. Now that I'm having this again in the bottle, it's absolutely my favorite Fonta Flora beer. And again, that's not to discount anything else that they make. They do a ton of great stuff, as you've seen other reviews I've done of them on this channel. But this beer is so good. And honestly, I don't know what role the dandelions play. I don't if at all. But whatever the base, I can't even imagine that the base beer of this is the same as their other mixed culture saisons. And I love their other mixed culture saisons, but this has a level of complexity that's even beyond that, and I don't know why that is. I don't know what it is. For whatever reason, too, I think this is less tart than that, and maybe that's why, because on the bottle it says mixed culture barrel aged saison, a blend of mixed culture and clean, crisp barrel aged saison. So I wonder if that's what it is it's not as acidic because it's blended with clean saison. Whatever the hell they did to blend this, and part of it said the clean one was barrel aged too. I don't know, but the complexity of this is off the charts. It is really, really freaking good. It actually reminds me a lot, sans the honey and the barrel character of Oxbow, the Catalyst, which again is kind of, I don't want to, a ripoff is the wrong word, but it's kind of a clone in my opinion of Anne from Hill Farmstead. But anyone who's a fan of Hill Farmstead, they have to try this beer. This beer is so good. I mean, I have one bottle left to share with people in Pittsburgh. I hope to God I can find more because I need more of this beer. It is so good. This is one of... Again, I don't remember being this blown away by a beer besides maybe the Bolt from Brewery Bavana since when I opened the green bottle of this, or at least from a wild beer. This is fantastic, so good. So I'm not even gonna say what my rating is because it's so obvious that this is a buy. Where I bought it, it was $18 for $7.50, which I absolutely think is definitely worth it. But at the brewery, I think it was only $14. I mean, my God, I would absolutely buy a case of it. Now that I tasted it again, and at that price, I would buy a case of it. I'm hoping that they told me that they were going to make more of it, so I'm hoping that actually happens. That it doesn't take another year for them to make this again, because in my opinion, this is the best beer they make. So good. So, anyways, that's all I got on this guy. I can't really praise it any more than I have, so please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.